Beginning, middle, end. Facts, details, condense, plot, tell.
Good lines from a terrible movie. It's almost as if the script is being meta on us. Anyway, let's bring in the guests, starting with...
Get fucked! Fuck you!
I'm back, bitches.
Indeed. Everybody, adjust your volume. The sea is coming on.
It will never not be a mark of pride that I'm the only one who gets a volume warning.
Indeed. Well,
I can have that changed, mate. It's not that hard.
Aspiring, don't.
It would take 5 seconds.
alrighty. So,
I don't doubt it.
So, Wasia, you have a time constraint, I believe?
Nope. Today's Saturday, my dude.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
If this was a Friday, I just simply wouldn't come on, man. I mean, it's already like 12:38. That ain't enough time to read through all this shit and then get people's opinions on it.
Fair enough. Alright. Alright. Aspiring, then Wasia, then me, and then if Valerian comes on, he'll probably be fourth.
All right.
So, recap. I have finally finished 3 beginning arcs of the story. We have been through Triple's POV, we've been through Q's POV, we've been through Vampira's POV. I'm not going to sum up what happened in all 3 of those because it's a fucking lot. But last chapter, Vampira boarded Akina Squad's freighter, as we saw at the end of Triple's POV. So everything has come full circle. And now we pick off from where we left off. Glaring at the medical bay entrance, a plasma rifle resting on her crossed legs as she sat atop a crate, Triple found herself saying, "I don't like her." Nick, who was leaning back on the wall next to the entrance, a plasma rifle hung on his shoulder, raised an eyebrow. "I don't remember you liking me either, but I would have to agree, seeing I'm still regaining feeling in my right arm." Triple tried sensing if he was joking, but he'd had trouble sensing anything from him after the angels struck him and Serial. "Is the girl still inside with them?" "Last I checked. She was quite adamant about staying with Vampira." Shaking his head, he glanced upward in the direction of Jeff's quarters. What happened back at Kran? Most of Shadow Squad dead, an entire planet under blockade, and angels surrendering with a double host? All of this couldn't have happened at a worse time. Triple let out a hum of agreement. Why that host, Nala, would want to stay with a host hunter was beyond her. She tried mentally reaching out to her a couple times and hit a barrier each time. She had the vague feeling that if she tried to push through, she could, but Triple had no idea what that would do to the girl. Above, she could sense Serial, her mind faint as she slept, and a whirlwind of emotions from Jeff's quarters, where he was discussing what to do with the Angel with Will, Carol, and the Shadow Squad commander. Uriel was inside the medical bay with the Angel and Nala, pretending to be asleep. And she was waiting for word that they would eject the Angel out into space and leave her drifting for eternity. That was surely what they would decide. There's no way they would leave one of the angels to live. They have been talking for a while, though, Triple thought nervously. And while they couldn't hear anything, she was sure they were fighting up there in hushed tones. The hiss of a door opening made her perk up, and she heard footsteps crossing the ship. Watching the ladder, Clairol climbed down and went straight into the cockpit, with Will coming right behind her. Approaching them, he raised an eyebrow at her. You are supposed to be asleep. Triple shrugged. It's my free hours. I can choose how I spend them. What did you decide? Passing her, he dug out a plasma rifle for himself before answering. We've decided it would be best to bring this to Preeminent and see what he thinks of the situation, and go from there. Suggested by you, I presume? Nick inquired, his voice holding no humor. Will gave him a look as he took his place on the other side of the entrance. Yes, but if I didn't, I'm sure Carol or Jeffrey would have. From what Commander Charles told us, eliminating her wouldn't be a simple option even if we agreed on it. Even if? Triple demanded. You mean they wouldn't agree that we should kill no, not even one of, the leader of the Angels? No, we wouldn't, Will answered firmly, making his position clear. Triple's jaw dropped as she stared at him in disbelief. Think I have to agree with the little one's reaction on this, Will, Nick said. Why wouldn't we kill her? We've had whole operations focused solely on that very purpose. Because the situation's more complicated than it might look to either of you. And if I hear another complaint, I'll charge you with insubordination. This goes for all of you, whether it be Serial, Uriel, or even Carol. You wouldn't dare, Triple said coldly. I do dare, except for you, who I will order to her room where you're supposed to be anyways. Balling her fist, Triple pointed at the medbay. That creature is part of why I'm here, unable to leave, and is responsible for hunting me and those like me. I have every right to want her dead, and you would dare tell me to be silent. Then explain why there's someone like you sitting next to her telling us she rescued her. Will looked in the direction of where the angel would be sat. She was the one that cut off further pursuit and has surrendered everything but her clothes to us. She's also been tight-lipped about everything we've asked her, Nick pointed out. All she was willing to give us was a murky description of what events transpired once we detonated our tracker, and that she's no longer an angel, whatever that means to her. Nodding, Will admitted you're not wrong, but that's why this needs to be approached carefully. On the chance that Vampire may have defected, Triple scoffed, Will continued after a stern glance, having the leader of the Angels on the dissenter side will benefit them more than you realize. She's a soul consumer, one of the most fearsome fires in the ascending territory with more knowledge and expertise of their workings than almost anyone alive, Nick said flatly. I am well aware how useful she would be. Will gave him a dry look. And her reputation? She's well known throughout the ascending territory, as much as the sources themselves, no matter what kind of reaction her defection could bring. Nick pursed his lips, glancing in Vampire's direction like Will. You think she could be enough to call off the upcoming operation? Perhaps. We'll just have to see what Preeminent and the Council decide. She couldn't hear this anymore. Triple hopped off the crate, handing the rifle to Nick as she stormed past. Hand on the lighter, she looked back to him and yelled, That angel is going to gut us, and I only hope I get a chance to shoot her before she does. And this time, I won't hesitate, even if to do it when she's asleep. Will called out for her, but Triple ignored him and continued right on, throwing herself onto her bunk, Serial shifting above her. She needed to be away from him while she could. Will would call her for lessons soon anyways. They had to see what she saw. They had to. All of this is them just being careful. They'd make the right decision. She was an angel. They wouldn't let her live. They wouldn't. Then why are they? Jeffrey stood with his hands behind his back, occasionally glancing at Samantha. She sat in his chair, eyes staring out into nothing, seemingly unaware of the holocom resting in his desk between them. Carol, he called through the comm in his ear. Are we in position yet? Almost. Just in the traffic for the hyperrings. A few more minutes and you'll be able to contact Preeminent safely. Grunting, Jeffrey disconnected inside. Distance between systems hardly ever mattered unless you wanted to contact someone, where suddenly calling someone on the other side of the galaxy was harder than just traveling there yourself. Especially if you wanted to contact someone safely without eavesdroppers. There were thousands upon thousands of systems that appeared to have a hyperring. You could signal the hyperring for a list of travel systems, and most were empty and unexplored. But knowing which uninhabited system was physically close enough to another system for a freighter's long-range comm was hardly a simple task, when the hyperring listed them all in a number system nobody knew. You have a bottle of ink, don't you? Samantha asked. Giving her a concerned look, he nodded. I'll share a glass with you after, but I need you sober right now. We're about to contact Preeminent. Does it even matter? Samantha cut in, seemingly unaware that he'd been speaking. They were gonna die anyways. We all are. We're not? We're not on duty, Jeff. Don't try and sell me our suicide mission as anything but what it is. I know as much as you that the entire point is that we die. Exhaling heavily from his nose, Jeffrey said, I think ink is the last thing I should be giving you now. I'll just get it from Nick if you don't give it. You said he has a stash somewhere. She sounded half asleep. I'll order him not to give you any, which I doubt he'd complain against. Trying to soften his expression, he continued in a more sympathetic tone. I know it's still fresh, but try to hold it together. Your squad will get their plaque and honors when we land. She shook her head. It wasn't even a slaughter. Shouldn't even kill them in a blink of an eye or with the strength of 100 Borons or in any of the ways where we couldn't be blamed for losing. There was a chance, and we still couldn't kill her. She finally raised her eyes, looking at him. What honors do you think any of us are going to get? What honors have the rest of the sacrifices earned? We all know them as that, the necessary sacrifice, the ones we feel pity for. Samantha started to laugh bitterly, and Jeffrey watched concernedly until his comm pinged. Yes? Jeff? We've reached the system, and we're being contacted. By Preeminent. They've been continuously sending a signal. Chills going down his spine, he glanced at Samantha, who straightened in his chair as she saw his look. Preeminent has been sending a signal before we even arrived, he told her. Frowning, Samantha stood up and walked over to him. Seems like we aren't the first to send word to Preeminent. Let's not keep him waiting. Nodding, he ordered Carol to respond back, and a minute later a hologram Preeminent appeared over his table. Sitting down, fingers rubbing his temples, the purple armband with the rank of coordinator visible near his shoulder, he looked at them with a dry expression. Taking a deep, exasperated breath, Preeminent stated, Commander Jeffrey Anderson, Commander Samantha Charles, I have been told you have very interesting news for me. His eyes focused on Samantha. And that I need a new shadow squad. While Phillies couldn't blush, Samantha's expression seemed as flushed as a Phillies could get, eyes downcast. Jeffrey suspected she was grateful she didn't have to do this in person, under Preeminent's piercing red gaze. Jeffrey started his own accounting of events before passing it on to Samantha, who had regained most of her composure from her earlier sulking. When she mentioned Extortionist, one of the council members in charge of reconnaissance and intel gathering, giving them new orders after the explosion near Mark's freighter, Preeminent grumbled, Of course he did. Only sends word to me after everything is settled, and that only to say to expect word soon. After a perfunctory wave for Samantha to continue, she explained how Extortionist told them to go to the Applin district, and how they had to wait for the rest of the squad to show when they reached. When she mentioned Vampire's offer to surrender and her order to fire, Preeminent's eyes narrowed, straightening in his seat. He didn't say anything, but for the rest of the retelling, he glared at Samantha intensely. Once Samantha finished, Preeminent was silent before speaking coldly. So you threw your squad away for what? What possessed you to engage when you had the mission priority in your grasp? He finished in a yell, unable to keep his anger in. Samantha took a deep breath, staring straight ahead, not at Preeminent, before answering. I thought perhaps we'd been given an opportunity to make the upcoming operation redundant. The death of an angel, especially Vampra, would have it to be at least as effective as an attempt on an assassination on Mirage. Recruitment would undoubtedly pick up. Preeminent's expression became less heated, but didn't soften. You acted hastily and foolishly. You were prepared for an extraction, something your squad is quite effective at, not a full engagement to one of the angels. If this was one of the objectives, your squad would not have been chosen for the operation, at least not alone. I was trying to take the initiative. If this is what happens when you take the initiative, Commander, kindly never do. Samantha pressed her lips together and Preeminent shook his head and sighed. You disappoint me, Commander Charles. You've proven to be otherwise a level-headed commander. Can I trust you to keep such level-headedness in the operations coming forward? Samantha nodded. This won't happen again, Preeminent. It better not. I have too much going on to demote you for even a blunder of this scale. I need you and Jeffrey for the operations preparing for Mirage's assassination. But you give me another reason to doubt your ability, I will not be so lenient again. Understood? Yes, Preeminent. She sounded relieved. Nodding, he turned to look at both of them. So, Vampra surrendered herself and is in your medical bay. She's been cooperative so far? To an extent, Jeffrey said slowly. She surrendered her weapons and gear, but is tight-lipped on any questions we answer, if she answers them. All to be expected, Preeminent mumbled, almost to himself. The girl. Perhaps we could look in her memories. How well do you think she'd remember everything? Both looking toward Jeffrey, he shrugged. Even a mind host's memories aren't always perfect, and she's a child. Add that with fear, grief, and any other feelings to the mix. Preeminent nodded. Still, the girl may remember something. It would be good to confirm what we can. Jeffrey frowned. Does this mean you think Vampra may have actually... He couldn't finish the question. It just didn't seem possible. He stepped back as Preeminent's eyes swung to him. I believe the potential deserves exploring. I want you to bring her to our Avalon base. I want to speak with her. Speak of this with no one. Sharing a glance with Samantha, Jeffrey protested, You haven't consulted the council. Surely for an order such as this, I will handle the council. You make your way to Avalon. Make with haste. Time is limited as it is. His hologram disappeared, and like that, the meeting had ended, the orders given. That went better than expected, Jeffrey noted. Shoulders slouching again, Vampra took his seat. How is it I feel we know less than when we hadn't spoke with him? I don't know, but I suspect the next day of traveling is going to be the last easy one we're going to have in a while. He raised an eyebrow at her. Still wanting that glass of ink. And that's the end of the chapter. Thoughts, concerns, comments?
Interesting merging.
That's I'm actually kind of hyped at this point. It's like, hey, everything that we're reading is converging together, and we're gonna finally get this big, cool story with all these characters we've been following this whole time, and they're all gonna do cool stuff together. It's like the MCU in a way, except not shit.
The MCU as it used to be.
Oh yeah. Also, when did Triple get so bloodthirsty? Like, I was reading through... I only got up to, like, 11 of her chapters, admittedly, so there's still 2 more left. But holy crap, she is out for blood.
Specifically Vampra.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, with what she's been told about her, I guess it would make sense that she'd hate her. But, yeah, damn. I kind of lost some likability with Triple. I kind of got a little frustrated with her because of that, but... goddamn. Also, I liked the little own that little burn that Preeminent gave Samantha. It's like, if this is what you taking the initiative looks like, please never do again. I mean, it's
Or-
an obvious thing for him to say, but damn, the savagery.
Damn,
let's
I'm getting
see.
complimented.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this. This is very nice. I mean, it also
Oh.
helps that I, read the first 11 chapters of your book thus far, so I have a very clear understanding as to what's going on over here. That, and I've also been listening in on Vampra's storyline as well. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got an idea as to what's going on. It's pretty cool. And and also, of course, establishing that Vampira is the leader of the Angels makes it very clear that no, we're not going to freaking kill her because she's an extremely valuable asset. Unfortunately, Triple couldn't seem to have pieced that together, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
But
whole
yeah,
thing of. Have any of you guys ever seen a video theorizing if Darth Vader joined a rebellion and how he would probably just end up splitting it apart?
Yeah,
No.
that I get that. That's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool concept, though. This is all looking pretty good. I also remembered you told me that the good guys lose in the story, so yeah,
Kind of a bit.
I'd like
Yeah.
to see. I'd like to see how the hell that happens because, holy fuck!
Oh, hey!
Hello
There
there.
is someone in the comments, and I can't help. How the fuck do I catch someone up? How much were you here for?
I think.
Why is Wissia's face the only one now?
Why? I mean,
I don't
why?
know.
Why am I the only one being displayed
Trip
on screen?
punks Wissia. Oh, what?
Oh,
Did Trip ask you to do that?
No.
Really? You just did that yourself?
Yes.
explain.
Trip spent. I think Dunn actually managed to take some initiative.
Okay, you need to explain this joke right now.
Let's just repeat the knowledge of what happened in the Discord when she just kept on changing her name.
Okay. Anyway, if it's all right for me to go.
Yep.
All right. So
It seems like you guys
brief-
like the dialogue and everything.
It's very good.
Oh yeah. God fucking damn it! Stop changing my name.
Nope.
Anyway,
You must suffer.
so brief recap from last week. Rosa finally arrives on Polis with Malik. Malik gets chewed out by the guard captain, Dimitri, for taking an entire platoon and flying into neutral space in order to retrieve one gal and, potentially causing an international incident. However, Malik has decided to take Rosa over to her room and introduce her to Tara, who's going to be her roommate for the time being. However, he also needed to go elsewhere. But as he left, Tara went ahead and asked Lucia for her name. She explains it. And Tara asks who gave her the name. And so we begin with the opening lines of the second half of this chapter. Malik. The captain froze, a chill running down his spine as their piercing blue eyes met his. The area around him was as hollow and empty as the feeling in his chest. Yet, the interior was littered with pillars of brilliant blue light with silvery bridges and platforms connecting them. He stood on one such bridge, glaring at the slender copper woman in a white lab coat, her icy eyes still focused on him. Naomi, he growled, his vision tunneled onto her, not noticing the silvery mechanical figure beside her until he heard a whirl. Malik's eyes widened, his breath slipping from his lungs. Standing on the platform at the far end of the bridge was the Chancellor of the United Systems Republic, his older brother, Harun Rashid. His back was turned to the captain, hands folded behind him, his color palette matching the facility around them. Malik's gaze darted away, noticing the massive blue glowing sphere just ahead. He glanced at either side, spotting the gunmetal armored soldiers standing at the ready. If the atmosphere wasn't enough to paralyze Malik, Harun's chilling demeanor will. Welcome home, he uttered, his voice icy and artificial. Malik felt a chill run down his spine and he swallowed. Uh, Thank you. It's good to see you again, he stammered, watching Harun turn to face him, his mechanical form shining under the blue light. I'm sure you feel that way. Malik blinked, looking puzzled and perplexed. He opened his mouth, but Harun cut him off. You seem surprised. I assume you weren't expecting me. Malik shook his head. No, sir. I was just, He paused, glancing at the gunmetal soldiers lined to either side of the pier. I just saw some officials on the way in here. I was wondering what that was about. The white-haired Naomi rolled her eyes, loosening her grip on the end pad as Harun answered back. The delegation from Urupan. Don't mind them. They just came in to complain about the usual. Malik scoffed. Was it this time? Warmongering, alarmist rhetoric, demands for reparations. Naomi's brows pulled together as her nose wrinkled. She stepped forward, only stopping when Harun spoke up. No, they requested help with housing and feeding all the refugees from neutral space. Malik blinked, his face paling. Apparently, it would seem they lack the resources necessary to provide for them, which has led to a sharp spike in crime and unemployment. But yes, I'm sure they're definitely thinking about starting yet another war. Malik's eyes darted to Naomi, seeing a smug smirk across her smooth and narrow face. His face started to redden, only to jolt when Harun continued. I must say, I am deeply disturbed by your callous disregard and disdain you show to your fellow man, especially given your blind faith in this Corvendra friend of yours. Malik convulsed, his vision narrowing as he sneered at Harun. But it's eclipsed by my disappointment in you, he snapped. That you're so stuck in the past that you can't imagine a universe where our two species can work together, even after he just gave us the location of Earth, of Phoenix, and him, he shouted, swinging his arm back. Brows furrowing, Naomi stepped in. You took an entire platoon into the middle of bumfuck nowhere on the word of some guy? Malik snapped back. Yeah, and look at how well that worked out. Her eyes ignited in a blue blaze. You fucking idiot! Do you realize what could have happened if you were caught? What would have happened to the rest of the galaxy if the Dominion found you there? And all on the whim from some guy? I knew the risk, and I trusted him, and it paid off. Why the hell are you always so suspicious of him? He gave us back our ancient homeworld, for fuck's sake. Harun's vision narrowed, and he interjected. And what is the state of Earth? Malik shook his head and blinked, blindsided by the question. It's in ruins, isn't it? Malik shuddered, yet Harun continued his interrogation. Quite the coincidence, isn't it? That your friend should give us the smoldering ruins of Earth, all while being equipped with Dominion weapons and hardware. Malik's nostrils flared, rushing in like a bull to a red flag. Earth is barren because of a nuclear war, not a genocide. Haroon tilted his head. Really? You're throwing out that possibility? So soon? Well, I suppose you were the one stuck on a ship for a week with an Earthling. I'm sure she's already told you what happened to her homeworld. Malik's throat clogged as he gritted his teeth, staring into the blue blizzard in Haroon's visor. You didn't think to ask her, did you? Malik hung his head, huffing like an enraged ox. She told me enough. What did she say? Haroon asked as Malik began to shake. The gunmetal plated vanguards looked at him, the pressure building on Malik as blood rushed through his veins. Then, finally, Haroon broke the silence. You won't tell me. Why? Out of respect for confidentiality? Or out of fear you might vindicate me? Malik's eyes shot open, and he roared. Enough! I've had enough with your constant conspiracies and hatred. I won't stand by and watch you slander conspiracies. Naomi interrupted, drawing Malik's ire. She smirked and scoffed. That's fucking rich coming from you. Malik began to seethe, watching Naomi sneer at him. Is this your debate strategy for the general election, by the way? Just deflect away any criticism or questions, then dismiss the guy as a conspiracy theorist or some kind of bigot, and then start morally grandstanding? She laughed. No wonder Haroon refused to endorse you. Malik froze, feeling a knife driven into his chest. Yet Naomi refused to relent. Oh, and in case you forgot why we don't trust these guys, maybe you should keep in mind that they fucking hate us, she roared, startling Malik. Then her eyes began to blaze and she went off. We spent the last 2 centuries fighting the bloodiest war in all of human history, dealing with the worst genocide ever recorded, one that you deny, by the way, and you want us to just trust them? Malik, eyes twitching and fists clenched, pushed back. That so-called great cleansing wasn't even done by them. It was a false narrative to use to keep the war going, to feed those coronophobic, privatist pigs. Naomi's eyes shot open just before she raged. My fucking homeworld was ruined by them. The Dominion tried wiping out my entire race, and not just mine, but the Urupani, the Emeritians, hell, even the Nihilikaners and the Hilali weren't safe. Your fucking people weren't even spared, Malik. His breath slipped from his lungs, seeing a tear slip from her flaming eyes. All of that, and it ended not a decade ago. There are entire worlds that haven't even recovered yet, and now we have these jackasses out there in the middle of neutral space, armed to the teeth with Dominion tech, floating over the ruins of it. And you just want me to trust them? Why? Why should we? Malik shuddered, hearing another voice overlap with hers. He swallowed and answered back. They gave us Earth and a phoenix. That's why. Naomi gritted her teeth together. In exchange for what? What does he want in return? The captain became still, silence befalling the room as he saw his reflection in her eyes. Malik, he looked back at the silvery cyborg, staring into his glowing visor. I have spent my whole tenure as Chancellor trying to build the world you imagine for us. I wish to live peacefully with the only other intelligent life we know of. But we both know that's not the reality we inhabit. Malik's breath slipped from his lungs, his eyes widening. Optimism is a shining beacon, one as bright as the sun. It can light your path even in the darkest nights. Malik took a deep breath, nodding along as Haroon's tone shifted. But, just like the sun, staring at this beacon for too long will leave you blind. Malik exhaled, hanging his head. Haroon's visor sharpened. We'll discuss the fate of this new phoenix tomorrow. For now, keep an eye on her. He paused, glancing at his white-haired protege. It's not every day one lands on your Porsche. Malik nodded, and with that, Haroon left, his armored boots clanking as he passed by him. But Naomi stopped beside Malik, glaring at him. The captain looked back, seeing the vile contempt in her eyes. By the way, for our sakes, I hope you lose, she uttered, walking past him. Malik clenched his fists, listening to the clanking of their boots echo, and quiet. Listening, guys, the clanking of their boots echoed, leaving him in silence. And with that, that's about it. That's the chapter. At least the rest of it.
Okay.
Whew. Oh boy, that was heated.
Mhm.
You did a good job making it so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, obvious. I wanted to really convey the emotion that someone like Naomi would be feeling in the face of this guy, but also I wanted to convey equally just how entrenched Malik is in his beliefs. So, yeah, any thoughts on that?
I think that's pretty neat. And this is the first time in the story that this has been brought up, right?
The first time as far yes, this is the first time that these two characters are interacting in the story like this.
I was thinking the idea of Malik's Holocaust denial.
This is the second time it's brought up. We learned about it in the previous chapter.
Okay.
In chapter, let's see, chapter 6. Yeah, we learned about it over there, and Rosa is a bit distraught by it, but she trusts him anyway. However, this is the first time he's actually clashing with somebody who disagrees with him, and fervently so, and for good reason.
Nice.
Did anybody
A couple of word choices that were odd. I was visor sharpened. Wasn't-
yeah,
I don't really know what you're trying to convey with that.
Haroon has a T-shaped visor for his face,
Okay.
so it can like narrow and such.
I think you might want to describe that a little bit better early on because I didn't really get that impression.
Yeah, sorry about
Or-
that. I might have forgotten to mention it. I noticed there was actually some redundancy here and there, but
Yeah,
that's
you
fine.
used roar twice.
Yeah.
Within I think like a couple paragraphs of each other.
Huh. Oh well. Oh,
The,
I guess I can get back over that and fix it up a bit, iron out all of that. Anyway, anybody else caught on to what else Malik is doing from the conversation?
He's angling for political power.
Yeah. Any
He's basically wanting to be chancellor, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't explicitly say that, but the fact that Haroon's tenure is almost over, the fact that he's explaining that this is what he's done the entire time, and the fact that there's mention of a general election, I feel like it should convey pretty clearly what's going on in that regard.
I think, yeah, I would say that it does. I'm definitely getting the idea that Malik very much wants power, or at least he wants recognition.
Yep. Aspiring? Any commentary?
Like the dialogue, quite heated. You read it very well. Overall, good impression.
All right, awesome.
Did you have any
Also-
questions for us?
Yes. So this is actually, so I actually made a mention of some interesting happenings with Naomi when she got really pissed off. Did anybody catch on to that?
She mentions a bunch of different planets, it seems like, and different alien races.
Not alien races, just humans, human civilizations. There's
I didn't
there was
really
only
catch that.
two. Yeah, there's only
did-
two.
I didn't really understand that they were humans. I kind of thought that they were alien things based on the kind of the odd names.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Haroon basically confirms that there are only two intelligent forms of life in existence, that being the humanity and the Corvendra. So, I guess I could have clarified that. But yeah, there was specific physical details that occurred with Naomi when she got super heated up. I'm wondering if anybody caught on to it.
That her eyes ignited. Okay.
Yep.
I thought that was metaphorical.
No, Naomi's a phoenix.
Okay.
She and Rosa are the only two phoenixes that the USR is aware of. This is her introduction. Speaking of which, what any thoughts on her?
She seems like at this point she seems just kind of the standard survivor type who's getting presented by a person who doesn't believe that there's a systematic cleansing happening. So I think she's pretty good in that serving that role in that function.
Yeah. Any thoughts on Haroon? Because this is also his introduction as well.
Based on your presentation of him, he's very much a cold, slightly clinical guy who doesn't even seem to like his brother. He seems like he's very much left humanity behind in a lot of ways.
All right.
Was that the intent behind him?
Yeah, the intent behind him was to present him as a emotionless cybernetic construct, somebody who most people would barely describe as human anymore. But yeah, there was also supposed to be a level of intelligence and sharpness about him, in the sense that he picks up on things and he knows where to take the conversation in order to get the results that he's looking for. As, you know, is pretty standard for somebody in his position of power.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's a scientist. He's kind of a Samuel Hayden type. So, yeah.
Except he's not going to turn out to be a secret fallen angel, I assume.
No comment. Or the way that the story's going, Rosa could end up being revealed as a secret fallen angel, given all the crazy shit going on with her, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, fair enough. Totally makes sense.
Mhm.
There seems to be a bunch of fallen angel stuff of going around.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why I don't even want to consider it as a possibility, because honestly, it's getting a bit tired at this point.
Yeah, you got Tyrael from Diablo. You got a bunch of different things. You got Lucifer and Lucifer. A whole bunch of different things.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Aspi-
So, I'll go for it.
Mhm.
Aspiring, you got any thoughts on the characters?
Nothing more to add, no.
All right.
Alrighty. This is going to be a nice and short one today. It seems since I've only got 10 pages, I've only got about 10 single space pages left.
Alright.
Which amounts to, let's see. On,
Oh shit!
On my butt.
I'm sure I forgot. Any commentary on the world building from this chapter? Because this is like the first time we're hearing about of the names of the different systems within the USR.
It's pretty straightforward. I think I would
Okay.
have to review it to kind of get all the nuances.
Okay. All right, that's it. Sorry for holding you guys up for so long.
Hey, no worries. Alrighty. So I'm just going to read a short one, and then next week I'll finish off the book.
All right.
Chapter 20. So, to summarize, Mordred has just barely defeated a giant and sustained very heavy injuries. Now they're resting and figuring out their next move. Maeve sat next to the fire where Mordred was lying, resting as peacefully as a babe. His body seemed to be healing itself after a few hours, but he remained completely still. Kara was out hunting for food, while Leviarna was on the other side of the fire, looking down at the strange man with a conflicted expression on her face. So, what do you think we should do? Leviarna asked. He's clearly something more than human. Nobody could survive that. And he did save you. Yes, Maeve agreed. He's a good man, whatever he is. Do you think he's the Herald? Leviarna asked quietly, furtively glancing around for Kara. She's quite scared of her after that punch. Maeve thought with an inward chuckle. I think he is. Maeve glanced down at Mordred, wondering what she was going to do about what had happened between them. There's something about him. Something good. Leviarna seemed dubious. Perhaps, she seemed skeptical. He knows a great deal. Could be a trap. If it is a trap, it's an unbelievably risky one. Maeve absently checked Mordred's broken arm, only to find that it was now whole. I don't think there's any guile or subterfuge with him. He could just be a good actor, Leviarna persisted. Why are you so sure he's the Herald? Because I kissed him and he didn't try to take advantage of me, Maeve admitted. Also, he didn't think of marriage to the High Priestess as a literal thing. Wait, what? Leviarna jumped as Kara walked into the camp, carrying a brace of rabbits across her shoulders. Maeve was just as startled, but she put on a smile and waved to Kara. Yes, I kissed him. You're going to try and make it work with him? Kara pointed at the prone man. I don't know. Maybe. Maeve stroked his shoulder. He's probably the only man I can feasibly marry without violating my vows. That verse is not literal. Laviarda sounded appalled by the entire situation. Yes, I know. Maeve shrugged. But I'd like to take advantage of what I have in front of me. So that's why you're doing this, Laviarda threw up her hands. A deliberate misinterpretation. And Kara was looking at Maeve and Mordred with a strange expression. So you and him, she motioned to Mordred again, are going to be a couple. Yes, Maeve showed her hand. I don't know, maybe. You and him, Kara repeated, shaking her head. Good luck. Why do you say that? Maeve felt somewhat defensive. He's a bit above me, but he's got no idea what marriage would be like, Kara interrupted. He's never had any relationships with anyone. He's never had to problem solve that way with another person. He's never been in a human body with those feelings before. Good. 'Cause I haven't either. Maeve felt her resolve firming. Are you? She cut off before she could finish that sentence. It was true. It was too cruel. Kara clearly intuited what Maeve meant, but instead of being offended, she just shrugged. No, I'm not jealous, she said offhandedly. He's my buddy, a sword mate. Oh. Maeve glanced out at Mordred, unable to shake the comparison to her childhood crush he elicited in her mind. But isn't he? No, he's not, Kara said flatly. Arthur is dead. Mordred is my friend. If you want to try, go for it. Laviarna just rolled her eyes before turning her attention toward the rabbits. Are we going to eat or not? As soon as they're gutted and skinned, Kara shrugged, then drew a dagger and started working. Maeve couldn't watch as the tan islander woman casually set about the grisly work of preparing the animals for consumption. Laviarna seemed to not have any trouble. Well, likely because she was a fisherman's daughter turned scriptorian. In a few minutes, 6 rabbits were spitted over the fire. So, where to now? Watching Kara, Maeve asked, watching Kara. Our attorney slowly turned the rabbit. There. Black Lake. Kara shrugged. We can't take you back to the capital. Not with what's there. There. What? Laviarna asked, a slight distaste becoming immediate and harsh relief. What are you talking about? There are cultists at the highest levels of government. Kara turned the spit over. We don't know who, but something strange has been going on with how the military organization of the war has been managed. We were beset by ambush after ambush, and there were clear signs that they plan to lure my husband into the forest so he could be replaced by one of them. So, what's to say he's not the traitor? Laviarna asked, pointing at Mordred. Because he killed 3 like him. 2 when he arrived, rescuing me and Varys, and then he put his own life on the line to try and protect our troops, Kara said flatly, pulling one of the spits off the rack and handing it to Maeve before doing the same with Laviarna. Here, eat. Seeming unconvinced, Laviar. No? Seeming unconvinced, Laviarna took a bite of the rabbit. As soon as the first bite met her mouth, she quickly devoured it and reached out for seconds. Maeve ate more slowly, waiting until Elkar was finished with her rabbits before resuming the conversation. How long do you think it'll take before he gets better? Maeve asked, absently checking Mordred's neck. No idea. This has never happened before. Kara sighed and adjusted her sword. He's never been so exhausted he's gone comatose. Abruptly, Kara glanced at Mordred. Hey, it looks like his arm is better, she remarked. Maybe she cut off as Mordred gasped and sat up, massaging his chest. Oh, blast, he muttered, glancing at some faces. Well, that was distinctly painful. He flexed his arm, trying to get some sensation back into it. It felt weak, but not quite as weak as before. You're awake! Maeve exclaimed, wrapping her arms around him. I was never asleep, Mordred grimaced, coughing and patting her back to tell her she was hugging too tight. I was simply recuperating from my injuries. How? Laviarna asked. You look like you were dead. Jormungandr's soul, he explained with a groan as Maeve loosened her embrace. She didn't let go. It felt quite nice, actually. The residual power was enough to heal my body. He tested his fingers. Still weak, though it didn't fully repair my arm, he thought with some measure of dissatisfaction. So, you were conscious that whole time? Kara asked as she took a hefty bite of rabbit. Yes. Mordred could clearly remember how his body and Aeson body had slowly repaired itself, each broken bone slowly knitting together with agonizing pain. Every second of it. He realized he was stroking Maeve's back and stopped, then resumed when she made a disappointed sound in her throat. Anyway, now that I'm mostly whole, we should leave now. Unsteadily, he stood up and walked to his horse. Breeze whickered appreciatively as he got close, nuzzling his hand. Come on, let's get out of here. You're sure you're all right? Standing up, Kara asked, standing up and walking to her horse. I'm well enough to ride. Mordred flexed his fingers. And if the High Priestess wants to ride behind me, I believe she could keep me from falling off. Laviarna and Maeve exchanged looks, likely wondering how much of their conversation he'd caught. He had heard every single word. Sighing, he decided to end their deliberation. I was aware of everything you said, he shrugged. Anyway, shall we get going? All right. Maeve seemed unconcerned. He'd heard their conversation, but Laviarna looked rather uncomfortable. Without hesitation, Maeve pulled herself behind Mordred and put her arms around his waist, likely to hold him up as to keep as much as to keep on the horse. Kara rolled her eyes and whistled to Wrath. The big ugly horse stamped the ground eagerly, almost as if he wanted to take off on a run. If you think you're up to it, she hung onto her horse and offered her hand to Laviarna. The priestess accepted the proffered hand, though she seemed more than a little wary of Wrath. Mordred patted Breeze's neck before nodding to Kara. So, where's the compass point to next? He asked. Here. Kara reached into her pocket and tossed a small bronze ball. Mordred caught the device and quickly consulted it. Well, glanced in the direction it pointed. It seems as though we need to go east. West. West? East? East? Kara frowned. Black Lake is southwest of us. I know. Mordred pursed his lips and glanced toward the south. southwest, then toward the east. But we haven't been steered wrong by the compass so far, so I imagine that we will be going in the right direction. True. Carr shrugged noncommittally. Fine, if the magic bronze ball is telling us to go east, I guess we should do what the magic bronze ball says. All right, let's get moving. Mordred nudged Breeze's flanks. Obediently, the horse took off, followed quickly by Wrath. And I think that will be it.
Well, shit, you weren't lying about that being short.
Yep, it's only 3 pages since there's only 3 chapters left. I think I'll just finish up the next 2 chapters some other time.
Well, you're not giving me a whole lot to commentate on, Dunn.
Yeah, I guess I can do it another one. And since it's
I'm
only-
just amused that Trip's attention came when someone's like, "Isn't he a little old for you?" Like Trip's like, "What age? What? Excuse me?" That's what brings her to be like, "Oh, okay."
I mean, she sounds like an adult. So, I don't know
Trip?
what's going on for her. Yeah.
Oh, she's definitely an adult.
I mean, yeah, I hope she is.
I think that she took that joke as, am I too old for her?
That's where I think her mind went.
Okay. Let's do the math. How old are you?
No. We don't need to fucking.
My cousin. What the? Done.
Trip,
Might be too old for you.
Trip, you've already tortured him enough. You think this information's gonna help? Also,
Yes,
yeah,
but-
Lucia. She's 57.
Shies, man. This is
Yeah.
insane.
Yep.
Fuck. Done. You're like slightly older or younger than me. I'm 25, mate.
Oh, I'm just a year older than you.
For now.
God.
He's gonna go 2 years and 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God damn it.
You like throwing that. You do. Yes.
So,
Is that to me or Wissia? Because that better be to Wissia.
yeah. Well, what should I call the trip Auntie Trip from now on?
No, never do that. Never fucking do that.
Why? Will it encourage her or something?
I don't know what the fuck it'll do with her. I just don't like Auntie Trip. All of you.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Call you on. He suggested Auntie Trip.
Yes.
I
'Cause
do
there's-
not know.
Because there's no way in hell I'm.
No.
Yes.
No.
You know what's
no.
coming next. You know what's coming next. Miss Farring.
I will fucking ban this. There are plenty of people who I call Auntie. Trip ain't ever gonna be one of them, and I refuse to have anyone else refer to her that way. That just no.
Aspiring, there are worse things. There are still worse.
What?
You know what? You know what,
Is
my dude. I don't need to say it.
Is it the M word?
Yes.
You motherfucker. What? You don't. No. You don't understand.
Oh,
You
that's-
don't fucking understand. Yesterday, just fucking yesterday, me and my friend are goddamn walking back to our place, and he brought this up, and I had the entire fucking reaction where I'm like, no. Will you cuck the... Who's Wisius?
Valerian? What?
And there's a
Blair?
quote when we were watching the Aladdin remake with Aspiring said, when I think it was Space Oyster said something vaguely complimentary toward the film, and Aspiring said, "I will cuck your parents."
Also,
I will
thank you
go
very
back
much,
in time
Trip.
and
I very much
mess with you.
appreciate that. Now, now please
Just don't-
stop.
You
Nah,
believe me, you don't come off as one. Also, like, yeah, we're walking down. I'm talking about Trip with him, and he brings this up just about the M word in that particular kind of context, and I'm just like,
Ouch.
okay, rot and die. Never bring that up. No, that's disturbing. No,
Yikes.
not just in the context, but just in general. No. Never use that word. Ever. Can't even say it. Not anymore, no. I can just no.
Yeah.
It's just I know it's a thing, but the second you think about it for like 5 seconds, it just disturbs you. It's like okay, just no, no, you don't understand. You don't understand, dear. Just think about this for a second. In a normal relationship, if you were the if you're
I see Aspiring is having a mental breakdown. Would you like to call it over here for his sake?
If you're the bottom, and you say if you use the M word, that's already bad. I can understand the logic at least, but that's bad. But at least that one I can slightly understand because I can see the logic. But if you're in the top, what the fuck? Genuinely, what the fuck? Mommy, happy, but. So if you call your fucking girlfriend or wife mommy and you're a top, what is wrong with you? No, what has gone on in your head that you can say that during that? No. Just in general, don't call your wife that. It's top or bottom. It's fucking terrible. And normal, as in their fucking age, is not.
Yora, does
You don't.
Freaking heck, Aspiring.
This
Just
is
calm the hell down, man. Don't tell people what to do
no,
with their lives.
no. It's fucking weird. What has gone on? What happened to you? What happened? Take me. Like I understand the daddy to some extent, even if it is kind of like all
No,
of it's
Daddy's
weird.
even worse. That's just bad. That's just bad in
Is
general.
it?
Especially
Yeah,
because
just-
it's Maggie May Fish.
Shut the fuck up. But I don't. Mommy
This has been
seems
very
worse.
amusing, by the way.
Mommy seems worse for some reason. Okay, especially if you're top. What? No. I.
Okay, but what if it? But what if
Like,
it was
you-
Aspiring, what if it's a lesbian relationship? Then what?
I.
'Cause then.
It's like less weird, but still weird. Especially if it's just kind of the weird thing. If you're the top and you're calling them that, do you have a weird thing in your head where you seem
It's
to
called
want
an
to?
Oedipus. It's called an Oedipus complex.
I know you like hearing it. I fucking said Oedipus. It's like I just feel if you say mommy during if you're top and you say mommy and you're fucking your wife or just anyone, your dick should recoil back to an inch regardless of what its length normally is. Not even at half an inch. It should fucking shoot out and then never be able to pick itself back up.
You mean shrink inwards? Because if it shoots out, my dude, that means something
Done.
happened.
Fuck you.
Dear God, I've probably almost I finished up painting this Leviathan Dreadnought. At least the blue armor on it in your rant. You've been going
For
on
once,
that
me and
long.
Valerian agree. Why, mommies don't like bottom? No, it's the thing of you thinking of them as mommy on the top. It's like, if you're thinking of fucking your mom, okay? No. It's just the mindset. And also, let's please understand this. Valerian and I are agreeing on something. This is not normal.
I mean, I never call my mom mommy anyway. I always say mama because that's the Arabic term for it. So,
Most
there's a
most
level of
people-
separation for me.
Most people don't use mommy. There's mom, there's mama, there's mummy, but mommy
Mom's
is
Or
Or
mom, or just mum. I
Or
say
mum,
with
yeah.
I say with a
Most
slight
people
British
like-
accent over there because it's funny. I like speaking with a slight British accent. Don't tell Becca to murder me.
What do you mean?
You do realize you're gonna get the ever living shit out of you trolled on the Discord server, right? You have just opened yourself up to vulnerability.
One, no, to Valerian and Trip. I don't even know what to say to that.
Outro
threat.
music, done. Put on the outro music. We're done. We're here.
I just have in mind what's one of the jokes that Smudboy had put into his chat when we watched the first Maggie May Fish video. It was, "Will you kindly call me daddy?"
Okay, seriously.
Fucking,
we're done.
I
We're here.
can't get over the fact that you actually typed that done, whether or not it was done as a joke. That was a joke, right? You don't.
This is worse than wow, your conquest must have been crap. I'm very sorry. Clearly you need to raise your bar.
Anyway, welcome to Dunn's Writing podcast. Is the writer
Should I
showcase
fucking
where
edit
freaking
this?
aspiring goes out and proceeds to kink shame everyone.
I didn't. Not everyone. I only kink shame the people who do it.
That is a bad joke. He's screaming. Nah.
Okay.
Okay. It's
You know
like the
what?
one
I'm s-
thing that I'll be like, okay, maybe don't.
I'm starting to understand why Tarek is always so grouchy all the time.
Well, yeah. Did you not see that little clip of us two just fucking with him? Me and Dunn are basically the two hosts of the showcase when I'm on. Okay. We work
Fair.
together to make all your lives miserable. Die screaming in pleasure. Yeah, Trip is Semiraj. Is that how you pronounce it?
Cimarag. Yeah. close
Semiraj.
enough.
Yeah, now you see why I said that.
Of course.
Anyway,
Carl
No, Carl's
is not
reading
on this.
today. That's next week.
Mhm.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I still have to fix that. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention a neato thing that I did. So if you wanted to know where I got the names of the systems from that I read off, Urupan was actually just a bastardization of the word Europe. Emeritian is derived from Amaterasu, which is the Japanese sun goddess. Nihlikaners, so obviously derived from Nile and Africa, in Afrikaners, and mash those together. Hilali is actually the Arabic. Hilal is actually the Arabic word for crescent. That's because that region of space is shaped like a crescent. So, yeah.
Also, yeah, you're right there. You're not comparable. You could probably make me more tongue twisted than Samirag ever could. Also, what the fuck you doing?
Oh, I just thought I'd show this.
I love this. Mark the Cyborg, I love you, sir. Would you kindly call me daddy?
Oh, look, she complimented your avatar, Wissia. That's 2 today.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Trip. It's Tyr Haribel from Bleach. She's my favorite of the Espada, the little villain group.
Wissia is a weeb.
Yeah, I am.
Well, I think.
I mean,
we
then
will-
again, you're the one with the lost Rule 34 on your computer.
That is
so
not abnormal.
I know.
Also,
but I'm
wait.
just saying-
Wait. Having 2 of those makes me a weeb. Excuse me, I don't watch that much anime, and I hate a lot of them.
Alright.
All
I
right.
refuse. I do not believe that makes me a weeb.
Close enough, though.
All right.
Close enough.
All right. Let's call it good for today. We'll see ya.